Hello there and welcome to a brand new season of Creatives on the Couch. We're back! How are you doing?
Fantastic.
Got a brand new set. Just look at this. So thank you so much for joining us. Now we're going to start this season with something a little bit different. We're going to change things up a bit and we're going to hear the story of this amazing guy. So today we've got Tony Stowell with us and we've got the legal representative. We're going very legal today. Faddy, thank you so much for joining us. Hi guys. How was your journey from London?
Lovely. Yeah.
Just
The standard relaxing train ride.
That is what we like to hear. Perfect. Now, Tony, we're going to touch on your life, and we are going to go through a journey with you, and you're going to take our viewers on a journey. It's been an emotional time for you, hasn't it?
Very emotional, yes. Very, very emotional.
So where would you like to start?
That's a great question, isn't it? What do you think, Fadi? From 2012, when went into care? Yeah, in 2012, my mum first went into care. When I say care, I mean into a care home.
Okay.
And I'd never stepped foot into a care home in my life, as you can imagine. You'd heard about things, but it goes in there and goes out there, doesn't it, when you're not involved?
Yeah.
So when she went in, I thought, I'm not really happy with this. But you have to get on with it. So I did. And I tried my best to get on with everyone who worked there, as you would do, because they're looking after your mum, your relative. So that particular care home, I started to see things that I'd heard about, not in that care home, but in general. But I saw it in that home. Long story short, my mum fell over in there due to neglect, and she broke her hip. The care home then admitted liability. The care home was then successfully sued.
Right.
Not that we wanted to do that. All I wanted was mum to be fixed, brought back and go back to her care home, be looked after. Never thought of anything to do with legal. Okay. But in the ambulance, they actually said to, because they came in to see mum, obviously the paramedics, they looked at mum, sorted her out, put her in, and mum at that point, hence why they said legal had to be involved because of that particular case at the time. That was in 2014. She's been there 2 years. When the paramedics got there, mum was sat up on a chair, as I am now, as we are. Paramedic got there, he said to me, he said, who put your mum up from the floor to the chair? I have a clue what he was on about. That's how naive I was. I'll be honest. All I saw was my mum getting better. I wanted to be better. I said, well, she was on the chair when I got there. What are you getting at? And he said to me, he said, we suspect your mum's broken her hip. Now that was like a bolt to me. Yeah. I didn't want to see my mum get hurt in any way, never mind breaking her hip. So I was in turmoil. I said, oh, please, let's just get my mum looked at. Get her to the hospital, get her looked after. Let's get mum fixed. He said, yes, that's what we're going to do. He said, but we think you need to seek legal advice. I said, why? He said, because when a casualty becomes a casualty, you leave them where they fall and became that casualty. And I said, okay, I'm getting the picture now. He said, they've airlifted her basically. Right. And lifted her to the chair. Right. He said, if we suspect, and our suspicions are correct, and your mum's broken her hip. Now again, I'm going to get medical here because I'm not spot on, but his words were, in my language, it could have killed your mum.
Gosh.
Right.
Due to when they lift you, it can stop some sort of blood flow.
Right.
I don't know medically.
Or anything, of course.
Yes, he
of
did
course.
that. And that's when I thought, oh God, I didn't know any of this. He said, you need to seek legal advice. So I did. Long story short on that one, the care home held its hands up immediately, which upset me, if you like. They admitted liability just like that. So from the reason why I wanted to mention that case was because of that situation, mum's first care home. Mum then went into, I think it was 6 care homes after that, wasn't it, Faddy? And I'm going to be honest here, I have to get it out to the public. The social services then blacklisted us as a family because I didn't know at this point, because every care home we tried to get mum in, care homes come and assess a possible resident. Yeah, that's the way it has to be done. They assess you. Okay. If they can manage you, yes, bring her in, welcome. Sure. Every care home who came to assess mum assessed us, yeah, we can take her. Unbeknown to us, the next day, sorry, we can't take her. I thought, what's going on here? What I'm getting at here, and I think it's pivotal for the public to know this. We were told and invited to a particular care home. I will not mention this care home. they literally told us why. He invited us in. I went along with a couple of family members. I said, what's the problem? What is it? He said, the reason why we want you in is because what we've got to tell you, we want to tell you face to face. I looked and I thought, what's he talking about? We've done nothing.
Yeah.
What's wrong? It's mum. Look after her. He said, we want to take your mum in. He said, but we've been told point blank by the social services not to touch this family with a barge pole. I just fell. I thought, what? I said, why? His words were, because you sue everybody.
Gosh.
Right. Okay.
So what I'm getting at here, immediately you realise there, because we'd done that with the home that mum had broke her hip in.
Sure.
She'd broken her hip. Not that we wanted to do that.
Yeah.
The last thing on our mind, it was the paramedic. But the social services used that as a power tool for them. They didn't like what I'd done. So that was the start of my mum, I really believe, having the consequences in future homes.
Right. Okay. Okay.
And I think it's a vital point that the public understand where I'm coming from. Because I would always treat people the way I would want to be treated.
Sure.
So if my mum goes into a care home, as she did, that care home and the workers, staff, whoever, they have to become my family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a given.
Am I making sense here?
Yeah,
You've got
you
to be able to trust them with
Because,
your loved ones.
yes, I thought, I want to get on with everybody. I want to go for coffee with my mum.
Yeah.
I want to have dinner with her. And I did.
Yeah.
And all staff got on with me. So I thought, that's good, that. But yet the social services, behind my back, had blacklisted us.
Okay.
So this is where it started. So every care home we came in, there's the son coming in there, seeing the evil one who notices abuses. They didn't like me.
Right. Because you were noticing things.
And I would voice it in a nice way.
Sure.
But that's my mum.
Of course.
Isn't that the correct thing to do?
Yes.
Isn't that what you should do? If you see wrongdoings, do you just turn a blind eye and walk away and say, I can't say anything? No, that's my mum.
Yeah.
That's my mum.
Okay. So you got her into the home.
Yes.
How did situations end up? With your mum.
Towards the end, you mean?
Yeah. Obviously, things changed.
Yeah.
Quite
So
a
that's
lot.
what I've said. So there, that sort of gives you a good impression or a picture of what happened in the care home.
Sure.
That just domino affected.
Yeah.
Yeah. On her health as well.
Yeah. But then what I'm going to get to here, the last care home my mum was in, where we lost her sadly, I tried to get my mum in that care home 2 years before she actually went into it.
Okay.
Again, going back to what I said to you at the beginning.
Yeah.
Social service said, no, they can't look after you, they can't cope with her. I said, yeah, but they've assessed her. So I want to tell you now, will make you think, hang on a minute, something here very corrupt has gone on. Mum then got onto what they call continuing healthcare.
Okay.
Not sure if you understand what that is, but that's where the system then pays for you.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, even if you're a millionaire, the system pays for you because
Right.
you have what they call nursing needs.
Right. Okay.
You fit the criteria for continuing healthcare,
Right.
CHC.
Okay.
So the nurses then did it all. Your mum's qualified. So I said, what does that mean now? They said, your mum's care's free. I said, okay, that's fine. I said, but what do we do? So I'm having a meeting with the CHC head nurse. And then she said to me, Tony, which care home would you like your mum in? I said, that's something I've never ever been asked before. I was shocked. And I said, well, you know the situation with what's gone on? He said, yes, but we're looking after you now. Which one would you like her in? And I thought, this is very strange.
Yeah.
So I mentioned the care home that said they couldn't take, or they said they could, but social service said they couldn't.
Yeah.
I said, I'd like her in that one. I said, because that's the best of a bad bunch. And I say that with my hand on heart.
Okay.
It was the best of the bad bunch. So they said, right, we'll sort that out. So I was puzzled. I said, how can you sort that out where 2 years or whatever years ago it was, social services said they couldn't look after her then because her needs were too much. She said to me, your mum's needs aren't too much. They can cope with her. So what I'm getting across there is, my mum had gone through, and maybe not just my mum, other families with their parents. Yeah. If a social worker doesn't like you, behind your back, your family member who needs to go into care can have a dog's life.
Right. Okay.
Am I making sense here?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
my mum could have gone into that care home years before and possibly had a better life and a standard of life in a care home. Yeah, because what the care home or the social services did, while we were self-funding mum's care, behind our backs, they were backstabbing us.
Okay.
And I found that out by the care home who told me. Right. So then mum goes in, she's not paying for her care, it's continuing health care. That care home comes to assess mum. Don't forget, this is a few years down the line when they said they couldn't care for her, or the social services said they couldn't.
Yeah.
They said, yeah, we can take her. My mum improved massively. She came off all medications. She'd come to my house every week in a taxi with a carer. Every Wednesday. I missed that so much.
Yeah.
It was on the hot summer of 2000. I think it was 18. Yeah, 2018. The hot summer of 2018. It was every day. It was just warm. She'd come every week to my home, and I sat in my patio, and I had tables out with food for her, drinks. My mum, she loved it.
Right.
And that memory will stay with me.
Sure.
She came 8 weeks on a trot, 9 weeks. Every week the taxi brought her.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at here is...
That was in the summer when we had the World Cup in England.
Yes.
England were on a run.
There you go.
Right.
Gareth Southgate was doing really well. They got to
There
the
you go.
semi-finals, and
Your
your mum,
mum's football.
and your mum was coming in. And
My mum was Spanish, so when Spain was in, she loved it.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at here is, that was further down the line of them saying with my mum's dementia, how bad she was getting, and care homes couldn't look after her.
Right.
They were trying to get my mum to move out of city.
Okay.
I wanted to ask people why.
Yeah.
Because I got told as well, because I was the son that cared for mum. I don't mean cared as in physically cared.
Yes, of course. It's your mum.
Thank you. That's all I need to say.
Yeah.
They thought, let's get rid of him. If we can't get rid of him, let's send her away.
Gosh.
Believe you me.
Okay.
So then we got women into that care home, and she became a picture of health until lockdown.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so you give us the backstory now.
I think you've got a good picture there.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, lockdown changed everything for a lot of people.
Yes.
Unfortunately, your mum didn't make it through lockdown.
No.
Did she?
What I'd like to come here before we go into the next bit, while mum was in that particular care home that looked after her, mum contracted pneumonia.
Okay.
This would have been in time, call me 18, possibly 19, early 19.
Yeah.
I think it was early 19, wasn't it? Pneumonia terrified me. I got into casualty. I sat with her the whole time. She was knocked out. I thought, God, what's wrong? Again, to condense it, the staff at the Hull Royal Infirmary were superb with me in casualty. Doctor was wonderful. I stayed with my mum the whole time. I said, how is she? He said, don't worry, we're going to x-ray. We've x-rayed the lung. He said, there's one side, we're going to make sure it's not on the other side. They did everything.
That's important to highlight as well.
That's
because
why I'm doing. You
it
know
was-
why I'm doing.
it
You know why
was
I'm
good.
doing that.
There
Fanny
was
knows
good
why.
care, and
Yeah.
in everything you've got the good and the bad.
Of course.
This is why
Yeah.
I'm mentioning this. Then Fanny will come in after.
Yeah.
So they're looking after. This is 18 months before. So they looked after mum really well. They said they came back and said, "To be good news, Miss Stowell." I said, "Oh, what?" They said, "It's only on one side."
Okay.
He said, "We'll admit her. You can come with us to the ward. Straight away for antibiotics, everything." The next day I came. I was sat having a cup of tea with my mum. She looked wonderful.
Yeah.
She stayed in a week with I think it was a week, no more than a week. Back to the care home, beautiful.
Okay.
Now I'm going to fast forward that
Sure.
to lockdown.
Yeah.
Same thing happened again. So we believe, I couldn't get in. I'm there, seeing mum every day at the window visits. My two children come with me on most visits. Mum's at the window waving to me. I've got photos of everything of my mum in lockdown, waving to me. She looked fine. And at one point he said, well, your mum's got a bit of a cough. I said, oh, is she okay? He said, yeah, Tony. He said, this is, again, vital.
Yeah.
This was a care home manager because we had a great relationship. And remember, I must specify this. There was a court order on the care home and also on us. Now, when I say a court order, it means if mum was to become poorly in the care home, by law, no matter what it was, they had to inform each member of mum's children,
Okay.
so of the family,
Yeah.
right? That's vital what I'm saying there. And it happened. Mum had a cough. Hey, Tony, don't worry. Your mum's fine. First thing he'd say to me is, because I would panic straight away. Cause my mum,
Yeah.
He said to me, Tony, don't worry. I know you panic when I call you. He said, your mum's fine. So I knew she was always okay. But on this time in lockdown, the iPad comes out. I said, what's wrong with my mum? He says, she's got a little bit of we can hear a slight chest. So we're just making sure. So thank you for that. I'm at the window watching it. I said, where's the doctor? Again, I thought, I said, an iPad? I said, I was the doctor going to diagnose my mum with a chest infection on an iPad. So he did that. He said to me, don't worry, we've got the antibiotics. Your mum's fine. He said, and again, he said to me, when have we ever let you down?
Right, okay.
And I said, I believe you. I said, because you haven't. I said, but I could always get in then.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
I said, I could always get in and sit with her to make sure you're doing everything I know you should be doing.
Yeah.
But we had a good relationship. Court order was in place. They had to abide by that order. But they didn't.
Okay.
As I say, I'd phone up every day. Hi's mum, she's fine. I get to the 17th of May 2020. I knew nothing. As far as I was concerned, mum was well. I'm always up early. Remember, it's locked down. I go with my dog. I get my phone out, phone the care home, as I always did every morning. Hi, it's only Tony. I said, how's my mum? Happy as Larry I was.
Yeah.
Oh, Tony, can we call you back in 5 minutes? But I said, yeah, of course you can. I thought, they must be busy. It's early morning. Tony's pestering them. Less than 5 minutes later, the phone rings. Hiya, Tony. I remember who she is. Am I allowed to identify the name? Can I identify her? First name?
I wouldn't, but just call
You
it.
wouldn't?
Yeah.
Okay, so the nurse.
The nurse. This was a Sunday morning, of course.
Sunday morning, 17th of May 2020. Remember,
Yeah.
I know nothing.
Yeah.
I called, she calls me back. Hi, Tony. And the way she said it, it's haunting me. I have PTSD and everything from this. I'm under EMDR therapy from everything. It's destroyed me. She said, Tony said, how she said it, I could see her. And she said, Tony, your mum's end of life. Oh, even saying that now, I have to be strong here.
Yeah.
Even now. I said, what? Your mum's end of life. But she said it in a way of, you know she is.
Yeah.
Tony, your mum's end of life. Like that. No, exactly like that.
As a matter of fact.
Yes.
Yeah.
You had been told beforehand.
As if I'd been told.
Right.
Why are you asking this?
Yeah.
You know she's end of life. I don't know what I did.
Okay.
I just said, what? What do you mean end of life? I said, does my family know this? It's the first I'd known. So I knew nobody could have known because that was a court order.
Yes.
So for someone to say to you, your mum's end of life. Why are you asking if she's okay? That was the matter of fact way she said it. That was what she meant.
Okay.
What are you ringing for? She's end of life.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was gone. I died that moment. But I got this strength from somewhere. I don't know where. And I got a lift. Family got to know. I said, phone the family up. Make sure all the family know what's happening. So I got to the care home. I called you literally from the care home as well, didn't I?
Yes.
And nobody's there. Couldn't go in. And again, a long story to get it short. The manager came out and he invited us in to watch my mum die.
Right.
And yet the day before, I'm carrying on life as if nothing's wrong. Nobody told me. So get back to the court order. They'd broken that court order there. Whereas 18 months previous, mum goes into her infirmary and gets fixed with pneumonia. Well, this one, they're suspecting a slight chest infection. But yet she's been put on end of life. So again, they invited in to watch her die. I said, I lost it. I said, get my mum out of that care home now. I said, an ambulance. I was going berserk.
Yeah. So obviously it's just a 30-minute
Yes.
episode.
Yes.
Your mum passed.
Yes.
You've created it's Antonia's
law. Yes.
What is it's going to be on screen, but what is Antonia's law? What is it that you are now trying to change?
I think Fard is probably the best to answer that.
Following on from what Tony said in relation to the end of life. End of life is, it's usually called an end of life pathway, where effectively a decision has been made to watch a particular person die.
Okay.
And that's not necessarily bad. That has a role in the care landscape, because sometimes letting someone die peacefully with dignity is the only way to go about it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you're going to have treatment or other forms, that can be more distressing to the person than allowing them to have that peaceful route out.
Sure.
Yeah.
However, when a decision is taken to make that end of life decision,
Yes.
it should be made in consultation with the patient.
Yes.
It shouldn't just be something that's written on your file that will then happen without your knowledge.
Right.
There you go.
And if the patient lacks capacity,
Yeah.
then you consult with family members.
Right.
Right. Oh,
Tony's
yeah.
main issue here is
Yeah.
that a decision was taken spontaneously on the Sunday
Yes.
when records reveal that it was actually taken 2 days before on the Friday.
There you go.
So
before you actually got the call.
Didn't even tell us.
So that was the issue, is on the Sunday, in real time, Tony thought it was being made on that day.
Yes.
Records now show it was made at least 72 hours before. The issue is, had
You try and
Tony,
live with that.
Tony and the family been told beforehand,
Yes.
then you would have potentially had the opportunity of 72 hours of treatment
To get
Yes.
her out.
to get her out in a hospital.
Okay.
And who knows, she may have not pulled through, or she may have pulled through with 72 hours of treatment, because
course.
eventually on that Sunday she reacted well initially.
They started treating her.
And she reacted well, but it was not enough. That was
Right.
that's the insinuation behind it.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So
Well put.
from that platform, the law's clear, is that when you, both under the common law and under human rights law, that you must consult at the earliest opportunity.
Yeah.
And although it was recorded on a Friday, that in itself may have not been done straight away on that day. So it may have been contemplated on the Thursday or Wednesday or
Beforehand.
right.
Even earlier.
So you could have had more time and opportunity. Now, where Antonia's law comes in is Tony's been talking about having CCTV in care homes,
Yes.
and particularly in a patient's room.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That, of course, is a proposal, but we have tried to address it because there are privacy issues. There are issues with people not wanting to be on film, carers or nurses.
Okay.
And so the proposal is framed like this. It's framed in a way that strikes a balance between all these competing interests.
Okay.
Because we don't want to deter good nurses. We don't want to deter very good carers who are doing fantastic jobs.
Yes.
We don't want them to feel that there's an intrusive element.
That you've
in their-
inspired on, kind of thing.
yeah. So the proposal is to have a camera or unit, which you can get now. That's quite cheap. They're as cheap as £40.
No, absolutely. I've got one in the lounge. I can watch
Yeah.
my dogs
There
right
There
now.
you go. What a-
And they usually have two-way radios, so you can
Yes.
either
I can speak to
communicate.
them.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
So should you decide to have it, it's the patient's choice.
Yeah.
They can have one in their room as of right. Because now it's not a right enshrined in law. It depends on the terms and conditions of the care home.
Yes.
So
Right.
if the terms and conditions, which is a contractual document, doesn't provide for it, you can't have it.
Okay.
There you go.
So the proposal is you have it as of right, and it can be switched off by the nurse or carer if there's an intimate activity being
Of course.
carried out.
No, absolutely.
So
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
So we've defined intimate activity as changing.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that can be turned off, and then
it's
thereafter
dignified.
it can be turned on.
Yeah.
And what we say is, particularly during lockdown when we had restrictions, and if we're going to have stuff such as the pandemics and the rest of them, is this could be a tool that can keep loved ones, that give them
Connected.
That
Connected
you have
to
something on your
mine, yes.
phone, and you can
Yes.
click on that, and you could have made
Yes.
sure that your mum.
Well, what would have happened to
was
my mum
okay.
on the 15th?
and the patient's in control. So the patient can decide, right, okay, I just want this me time now. I don't want my
Yes.
son or my
I get that.
daughter, and they can switch it off.
You switch off.
Or they can switch it on, and the benefit of that is you can see on a day-to-day basis if someone's well.
Yes.
So you can see, have they eaten the whole dinner?
Are they on the floor?
Are
kind
they
of
watching
thing? Yeah.
There you go.
Are they
Yeah.
watching Coronation
What's
Street
changed?
or
What's
EastEnders?
Yeah.
Are they chuckling at their favourite TV programme? And those little signs
Yeah,
will be able to
of
tell
course.
You would know
Whereas
your
if-
Because
family
you know
member.
your loved one the most.
Yeah.
So if
You know exactly what their
exactly,
day-to-day is
so you
like.
would notice, okay,
Yeah.
that's not right
I
today.
knew my
Are they
mum's every
listening?
move.
Are they listening to music and listening to their favourite song? Are they
Yeah.
watching their favourite TV programme?
So you-
If not, you can pick up on these signs and say, "Hang on, something's
So in
wrong."
essence,
So
that could,
you take action.
and in essence, that could probably help.
Yes.
because they've
It would
probably
save
missed
many.
that.
It would save many.
But also, if you're a good healthcare assistant nurse,
You wouldn't mind that,
You
surely,
wouldn't
would
mind.
you?
No.
You've got
So
nothing
you're
to
wanting,
hide.
you are taking this to the highest. What's the projected journey that you see this going on? Because are you going to go through government, and you've met ministers. You've gone.
Yeah, we had
pretty
an
high
early
at
day
the
motion,
moment.
didn't we? We had an early day motion, which is to get the backing of certain MPs. But that was just for lockdown. So obviously lockdown changed everything.
Okay.
And obviously
Yeah.
I lost my mum, as we just explained there.
And
I-
initially, it had cross-party
I had
support. So
cross-party
this isn't an
support.
ideological thing. This
Right.
is really a social. It's about consumer choice and consumer
we had
empowerment.
cross-party
Right.
support. All
No
of
one's forcing anybody to have this. You can
No.
have it, or you can choose not to have it.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's
It's
all
up to
about
you.
choice.
And at the moment, it stipulates that you can't have it, and that's what you're trying to change.
I
You're
want
trying-
choice. If you want it, you can. If you don't, don't.
I mean,
Yeah.
and some care homes do have it, but the decision is with the care home.
Care home.
It's not as of right by
Right.
law,
Yes.
and that's what we're trying to
Understood.
change. We're
How
trying
can
to
they
have it-
decide if I want that for my mum, who I love dearly,
Listen,
or your
it's-
son or daughter?
I I said that episodes fly so quickly. It's completely flown. Antonio's Law, it is on screen now. Okay, follow the links. Okay, Tony, you'll love to hear from people.
Yes, I would.
You're very, very open. We would love you to come back on. Okay, we'd love to, if you would like to come back on and talk to us about how things are progressing.
Yeah.
We're going to talk anyway, because I'm going to join you on your journey as well, as we've already spoke about. If you want any more information, please look at the website. You can contact Tony and his legal team through Antonio's Law. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on and for sharing part of your story. And I know this is just the beginning for you guys, because you're not going to give up in your mum's name.
That's my mum.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Creatives on the Couch, and we will see you next week. Bye for now.